focus on understanding something that most of us can agree on, and that's the want for love.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alonzo Bouldin, and I hope you're enjoying your summer so far. And I'm here to talk to you about the Higher Education Act of 1965. In November of 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Higher Education Act into law, standing at his former college, Southwest Texas State Teachers College. LBJ made a revolutionary declaration that a high school diploma was no longer enough, and that a student's financial circumstances should never dictate their potential. The Higher Education Act established Title IV federal student aid programs, laying the groundwork for what we know today. For millions of students over the last 60 years, this wasn't just an abstract policy, it was a lifeline. It was the reason a student like myself with a zero expected family contribution, a full Pell student, could walk through the doors of a university, graduate, and completely change the trajectory of their life. The act was built on a singular foundation: equity through access. But fast forward to today, and the implementation of that historic act is experiencing a massive historic realignment. The landscape has profoundly shifted under recent administrations. First came the structural modernization, the replacement of the classic EFC with the Student Aid Index, under FAFSA simplification. While this expanded maximum Pell eligibility for lower middle class families, it also fundamentally changed how family assets are calculated. More recently, the current administration's legislative shifts, specifically through the major fiscal overhauls passed in late 2025, are directly challenging long-standing Title IV structures. Effective July 1st, we are seeing the elimination of the Graduate Plus Loan Program, new strict caps on graduate borrowing, and an overhaul of the income-driven repayment system. Furthermore, new rules dictate that students whose cost of attendance is fully covered by outside scholarships will face new restrictions on receiving their federal Pell grants. What began as an open-ended promise of federal backing is rapidly pivoting towards hard caps and strict fiscal consolidation. For professionals working within higher education today, this is a landscape of rapid-fire adaptation. It's no longer just enough to know the old financial aid rules. First, enrollment and financial aid offices must instantly adapt to July 1st cliff, adjusting how they counsel graduate and professional students who suddenly face hard limits on unsubsidized federal loans. Second, compliance teams must closely monitor the rigid new caps on Pell eligibility, specifically the rule that bars students with an SAI greater than twice the maximum Pell award from receiving aid. And third, student success and retention professionals must recognize that these changes disproportionately alter the calculus for first generation, low income, and vulnerable student populations. Our advising models must adapt to meet students who are navigating a far more restrictive federal financial aid framework. The Higher Education Act was created to open doors. As practitioners, leaders, and beneficiaries of that legacy, our job today is to make sure those doors don't swing shut. In a changing political and financial climate, by understanding the new rules, we keep the original promise of 1965 alive. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Blue Raiders.